All right, let's see if we can get this right now. Let's see if we can't get this right now. Trying to get it right. Trying to get it right. All right, looks like we are public now. What's going on, everybody? I'm going to move my live chat on here. And we want to invite all y'all in. We've got a special guest today. We've got a special guest today. Now, I know I did not announce this earlier, but we're excited to have this special guest on with us today. We were actually slated to do it yesterday, but I had some meetings about my health and had to get those taken care of, and they went a little longer than I expected. We had to reschedule. Nothing crazy, just wanted to make sure that we were on the same page. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and share this link with him, but I need everybody to come on in the building now. We've got Brandon Adams going to be joining us today. Now, some of you may know who Brandon Adams is, and some of you may not, all right? And that is why we are holding this Zoom live today, so you guys can get to meet the mastermind behind the Core 4 movement. I do believe the Core 4 movement is going to be imperative to anyone that is in this space or trying to learn from this space. Excuse me, y'all. And we want everyone to hear from him, sending him the link right now. All right. For the meantime, for all of you that are watching, tell me where you're tuning in from, and excuse my allergies and excuse my my everything that's going on over here. But let me know where you're tuning in from. We've got 12 people watching. We'd love to hear where you're tuning in from. We'd love to hear, you know, anything you'd like to say in the group chat. It's been a little while since I've been live, but I told my brother Brandon, I said, we're going to go live if you want to go live, all right? So he wanted to go live, and we're going to have an opportunity to talk about what the Core 4 means, what the Core 4 movement is trying to do, the excitement around the event that is coming up. And we're going to let him in around 10:15. All right. So in about 5 minutes, I'm going to let him in. I'm going to let him know right now, hey, I'll let you in 10:15. All right. So we give a couple minutes for you guys to share this video with others. If you don't know what Core 4 is, you will be finding out pretty soon. Chris Florence in the building, East Texas. Shout out to East Texas. I've been following for a year now. Thank you for following. Really appreciate it. Got to clap it up for you, Chris. Rose Love, shout out to you, saying good morning from Detroit. Detroit is definitely in the building. What's going on, Detroit? How y'all feeling? We got East Texas and Detroit in the building up early today. Well, it's not crazy early, but it's early enough, right? It's 10:10 Eastern. And I'm sure where you guys is around 9:10. But we're so glad you guys could join us today, and we hope that today's live brings you some value. We're going to have our great friend Brandon Adams on. We're going to talk about what the Core 4 movement is doing, what they are planning for the future, and why it's important that everyone tap in with the Core 4 movement. Now, it's not a necessary thing that everyone has to do, because you know how I roll. I don't tell anybody what to do. But what my job is here is to show you guys the value in why I am a part of the Core 4. And quite honestly, I'm not the most active member of the Core 4 because I got a lot of stuff going on. But I will be at the event in December, which actually happens to be the weekend of my birthday. So that'll be cool. Kingdom Wealth Coach, shout out to you joining us from Belton, Texas. Daryl Porter, shout out to you, Daryl Porter. Appreciate you joining us this morning. In about 4 minutes, we're going to have Brandon on, and we're going to talk about the Core 4 movement and whatever he wants to talk about. We're having him on for the first time today. Me and Brandon are good friends and have been for a while now. I think a little over a year now. It's just amazing how we're able to find people in this space that are like you, in a sense, and share a similar mindset, but have different goals. All right. And one of Brandon's goals is not only to grow his foothold in this space, but also not only encourage others, but to educate others and to really make sure that people have everything that they need to be able to maneuver the space. And one of the reasons that attracted me to Core 4 is because, quite honestly, I am not the person that can sit around and take a whole lot of time to educate people on this space and things of this space. Now, the time that I do have is usually spent in front of the camera, and people send me emails, and I try to get back to everyone's emails, but it's unrealistic that I can do that. But what the Core 4 movement was based off of was the education of the space that we're in. And it's branched off into other things. There are so many opportunities and ways. And I think it's gone from the Core 4 platforms to really a Core 4 mentality, right? And when I say Core 4 mentality, and I'll let Brandon touch on this more when he comes on in 2 minutes, y'all. But the mentality of the space and how to continue to make sure that you're protected in a way that allows you to stay around. And not only just this space, but in business in general. You know, you want to be able to protect your assets. You want to be able to protect how you move in business. You want to be able to, you know, privy yourself to the new things that are out here as well. So we're going to touch on all of that. I'm super excited. We're going to be talking about the event that's going on in December. I'm going to be talking about that today. And that's going to be exciting for all of you that are interested in being here in the DC area for that event. It's going to be a great one, and we're excited about what this team is doing there at Core 4. They're really facilitating an amazing event. They've gotten a lot of the leaders that we all know and love, and some of them we don't know, but will probably grow to love at this event. So another minute, and we're going to be letting Brandon in. I've already let him know. Are we doing the Zoom? All right, y'all. 1 more minute. We're going to be letting Brandon in. If you haven't already, go ahead and share this video with someone. And of course, feel free to leave your comments in the box over here on the right. We love to answer your questions along the way if we feel that they're appropriate. We'll go ahead and answer those questions. And again, excuse my coughing and sneezing and whatever else comes out of this face today. We're just battling through some things, but nothing too crazy. We're still excited. We still have good energy here. We're excited about what the space is doing. We're excited about what Brandon has to bring us this morning. And without further ado, we're going to go ahead and let Brandon in the room so he can talk to us all and we can get this call started. Now, Brandon, I want you to let me know when you can hear me, and I will definitely let you know when I can see and hear you. Oh, you've got paradise going on in your background, brother. What's going on, man?
I need it. I need it.
I feel that. I feel that. I need a little paradise in my life too, man. How are you doing this morning, brother?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. How about yourself?
I'm good, man. It's good to see your face. You look healthy. You look encouraged. You look enthusiastic. And I need a little bit of that energy this morning because you already know some of the stuff I've been battling. And we're excited about what we've got going on. Regardless, nonetheless, we're still excited. So I want to take I've been talking for the last, 10 minutes or so people have heard enough of my mouth for at least the first 10 minutes of our broadcast this morning. For those of you that don't know Brandon Adams, he is a great friend and colleague, a brother to me, and has also done some amazing things in this space, and not only just participating in the space, but educating people in this space, taking the time to do what I have told him straight up I probably won't spend time doing. This is a gentleman that will take that time, and I just want to give you the floor to introduce yourself, man. And we've got a few people on live right now, so I'm sure they'd love to hear your voice and love to know who the great man Brandon Adams is.
Too kind, young brother, too kind. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on the show. And, it's an honor. I actually, can say this. I'm proud of you.
Thank you, brother.
Some amazing things. And as a leader in this space, there are things that I do that are different, just like you said. But what you do is you provide hope, you provide wealth opportunities for people, and you've actually inspired me.
Thank you.
So, I'll tell you, there's 3 things. I'm a basketball coach, number one. I play basketball, as you know. I've trained WNBA, NBA players. And I've loved that. But the three things that I tell everybody is you must first become a subject matter expert. Number two, you must be the best version of yourself. And then number three, you must be around people who inspire you. And if you can do those three things, you have a real shot at being successful in anything that you do in life.
That's right.
So you inspire me. And so
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you for doing what you're doing.
Well, listen, I'm glad that we share that sentiment and inspiration, because I remember one of our first conversations, and those three things that you just said to me haven't changed. They've been the same. And it started with being a subject matter expert. That's one of the things that really resonated to me outside of the regular, like staying consistent and inspiration and stuff like that. Knowing what it is that you're doing, knowing what it is that you're talking about. There's a lot of people in our space that speak from no experience. There's a lot of people in our space that speak from little experience because either they just have little experience or they haven't put in the work to gain some extra experience. And then there's people like yourself that have put in the work to learn what it is that they're talking about, as well as go through the hard knocks of it all. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It takes a lot. And I think as former athletes, and you played at a much higher level than I ever did, but the mindset of it all stays the same. You have to be willing to prepare. You have to be willing to put in some work that others won't if you want to experience some of the success that we have experienced in this space and in anything in life. There's a level that some people are willing to do and some people just aren't. And to experience some of the higher levels, you got to do some things that that may be uncomfortable at first, or it may take that learning curve. But being a subject matter expert is a part of it all. If you don't know why a pick is needed in the game of basketball, you won't ever set one. You won't ever realize why it needs to be set, what space needs to be created with that pick. There's so much that goes around, why you need to know some of these things. So I just appreciate your time today. We have some very special things that we have coming up pretty soon, right? In the next couple months, actually, that I personally believe are going to be a great asset to this space. And it started off in a different kind of way. I think it started off just trying to really educate people on a certain core platforms that we were involved in. Yeah. And it's matured. I won't even say that it has shifted. I think that it's just matured into something else, because we matured. We understood more about what the space is and how to attack it. So can you talk a little bit about your relationship with Core 4, what your role is with Core 4, what Core 4 is, and then we'll get into the amazing event that we have going on in December.
Sure. So a big part of my development as a leader in the sports industry is to help people recognize patterns that work. And we need those patterns in everyday life. Right. And so when we first got involved in this crypto space and we were trying to understand platforms and what they meant and, how really to identify and classify them, we were really trial and error to really kind of figure it out, because you had some hypes, then you had something called platforms. And so we tried to make distinctions. And really what it comes down to is the space is way bigger than that. It's way bigger than that. And if you want to really make money, then you have to think outside of the box. And so when understanding that, I decided to create Core 4. And Core 4 really revolves around 4 unique aspects of what's needed to be successful financially. And people really need to hear this. So the first part is that you can take a look at the way the world is now and how we make money in finance and in banking and investing, and we'll see that there's moderate growth, but it's planned that way. This is something that's orchestrated, it's marketed, and so there's a certain level of expectation, and that expectation is limited because it's an economic ceiling that we are going to be at, but there's a world beyond that. And so when you start uncovering and peeling it out, you're going to see that there's some unique aspects that are needed. So the first thing, an alternative passive income. That's the first opportunity we present in Core 4. So that's crypto. That's whether you invest in it, whether you mine in it, whether you do a platform in it, whether you do DeFi, whether you also do ICOs, initial coin offerings. Okay, great. Then you also have MLM type opportunities as well. You have Forex as well. You have private membership groups, PMGs, which are very popular. And then you have like different prop firms that give you an opportunity to be successful, right? So that's one area of core four, number one. Number two, you have asset management. And so people have to understand it. You got stocks, you've got options, you've got metals. So you got gold, you got silver that you can get involved with. And so you got fractional ownership in real estate. You have fractional ownership or even total ownership in mortgage notes. So that's a whole separate area that you have to start to develop as a part of your financial plan, right? Then you have financial instruments. And this is great because a lot of people don't understand that you can use insurance as an investment tool as opposed to a death benefit.
That's right.
So it's very hard for people to get that, but once they do and they understand the plan with people, very powerful tool. And then you also have business credit lines. So that's they have something coming out, quantum banking, and we're exploring that as well. And that's the third area. And then finally, Gerald, which is fantastic, is corporate structure. When you're making this self-funded income, how do you detach or protect your assets? How do you create trust? How do you create foundations so that you can actually separate the income that you're making from your Social Security number?
That's right.
And that's hard for people to really understand and digest. This is not about W-2. This is about who you are. And we're saying pay your taxes, but pay a responsible fair share based on the legal structures.
That's right.
Our event is about.
That's right. And one, I just want to say one thing because your connection was breaking up just a little bit, so I missed a couple of those portions. Can you briefly go through 1 through 4? Not everything you just said, but just the names of the things that you just said, because it clipped in and out just a little bit. I just want to make sure everyone hears those 4 points that you delivered just then.
Passive income opportunities, asset management, financial instruments, finally, corporate structure. Corporate structure.
There we go. So, and quite honestly, for those of you that may be a little bit more like me, right? Excuse me, where we're generating income in this space and we're finding the ways of learning how to earn. But things like corporate structure and asset management were not always top on our list. It was just the excitement about being able to earn more than we ever have earned in our lives. That's the way I started as a young man in this space. And I'm still considering myself a young man that's trying to earn or learn as I earn, right?
Right.
How to make sure that corporate structures are set up right so that you can take advantage of bigger plays like business funding and making sure that trusts are set up and detaching, your income from this space from the entities that are trying to take from you. They're not trying to, and it's kind of like, I don't want to make too many scammy comparisons between the space and the government, but there is a lot of things that we don't know as regular consumers that I believe that this opportunity with Core 4, especially in this event that we're having in December, is going to allow us to at least start to learn about. The coming together of the group that you guys have created at Core 4, I believe is going to continue to help us move forward, not just in this space, but in general business, in general protection of assets, like you said, in asset management. And then, of course, finding the vehicles to allow us to get into a different space. So I'm extremely excited about it. Now, one of the things that I'm excited about is and I want to shift towards the event just a little bit.
Yeah.
In December and I'm gonna send this to myself so I can actually share the flyer on this call so everyone can see, right? We've got a lot, and I haven't talked to you about this since I've seen some of the updated lists and some of the people that have done Zoom calls and all the people. I mean, you guys have been active, especially over the last couple of weeks in getting some really heavy hitters. And as far as we're concerned, some people may not know who these people are, right?
Right. We know.
But we know who they are. We know how much value they bring to the space in their own capacities. Can you name just a few of the people that are on this flyer before I put it up so people can see. This is really big, you guys. And one more thing that I'll say before we even get into that, we have 11 people watching right now. I need 11 people to press that like button before we bring up another topic here. All right, at least 6 or 7. All right, I know it's early. I know it's a little bit different time than you guys are used to seeing me, and you guys can always watch the replay at any time. But if you're watching this right now, just take a couple seconds, press the like button, because what that allows it to do is allows this video to get to more eyes, and we want more. As many people to see it in the time that we have as possible. So Brandon, can you name just a few of those people on this heavy hitting list that we are going to be hearing from and seeing in December?
Let's see, Quentin Bradford, which is Crypto Pays Me Daily, Terrence Pounds, which is Money, Ministry, and Motivation, sassy entrepreneur Sarah Julian, who is huge in the blockchain space, Kojo Forson, another gentleman who's huge in the blockchain space, Stan Richards, who is arguably one of the most successful multi-level marketeers in the 2000s and the late 90s, and just having him and that senior leadership is just incredible. Let's see, Carretus Martinez, unbelievable leader in this space. India Bradford, whose blockchain understanding and just crypto and Forex knowledge is just unparalleled. I mean, the list goes up there. Exactly. There it is. So there's Sonia, there's yourself, there's Lambo Drew. And then there's also Anthony Deloach, there's Rashid Hill, there's, let's see, Ahmad Hazel. I mean, the list goes on and on. And that's because the event is not centered around a platform.
That's right.
It's not about affiliates and we're coming together. No platform. Ed Zimbardi, we're not talking about a platform. We're talking about how to sustain in the space, how the leaders sustain, what are the true strategies, not the strategies that you promote to the public, but what are the networking strategies, and then also the financial strategies that you're using to maintain in this space and thrive. That's right. What this event is about. And so this is just the beginning. There's people that call me every day that want to come in and speak at our event because they know that what we're promoting is longevity in this space. We're That's not right. saying, hey, come learn about this platform here or get an update on this platform and we're going to get together and that. No. No, this is not that game. Yep. This is a game of life and how you play the financial game of life.
That's right. So
if you've got families, you have to be here. If you're just getting started in life, you have to be here. If you're preparing for retirement, you have to be here. The networking, the fact that people know you. We were at an event together and we were talking about it. People were coming up to you like you were a rock star.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you are, because we all want to be in the place where you are and the people that are on this flyer. But to get there, to be able to shake your hand, to be able to just hear from you directly is totally different than being on a website or a Zoom channel or YouTube. This is real communication.
That's right. And I can just think back to, and I say this all the time, and I appreciate your kind words and the reality that is when you get to a certain place and you're out in the public, and especially at a concentrated event like we were at, there's going to be a lot of people that know you in the space that come up to you and they talk to you. And it kind of was reminiscent for me because I started network marketing when I was 19. And I was going to these events, I have 2 events a year at least at 19. I was leaving college baseball practice to go to meetings. That's how much this meant to me, the network marketing side of my life. And, I know how much it meant to me to be able to meet some of these people that I had heard speak on the Zoom calls and that I had heard doing the presentations on the videos that the company gave us. It really meant a lot to what my belief level is and what I was doing, to be able to hear these people speak and meet them and touch their hand, shake their hand, take pictures with them. Even if we only got to say a few words to each other, it meant a lot. So to be on the other side of that at the event that we were at was a great thing to experience for me. I understand the weight that comes with being a person in this space at the level, I guess, that you can say that I am. But with an event like this, all those people that you guys see on the screen right now are all successful in our own rights. And we've done a lot of things. And if we did a tally, I'm not sure if you guys have done a tally yet, have asked how long people have been involved in this space. But, you know, folks like, and you were dropping government names, by the way, like Stan Richards and,
exactly.
and Blockchain Kojo, you know, Sassy and India. And I'm just meeting India too. Like, she is one of the brightest young minds in crypto that I've ever heard speak about blockchains and technologies of this type of nature. Quentin Bradford, good brother of mine. Lambo Drew, can't say enough about Lambo Drew and his involvement, not only in this space, but helping people understand credit and business funding, all these hot topics there really are hot topics in our space. You know,
you have to have these topics understood.
That's right.
Know how to move. I mean, we talk about Jackson Armstrong. We have Rob Gordon, who's unbelievable in here. And it's all of the people bring a different perspective in their journey. Yep. But the reality is that we're all on the same path. And when you know the leadership is headed north, you don't want to be going south, east, west. You use the leadership that we have as a GPS for your own success. And then you break off and do what you want, but let's get going first.
That's right.
No, I just wanted to share that.
That's right. And that's spot on. I'm going to read some of the details of this event so you guys can get connected. You can contact me. You can contact Brandon. I'm going to have Brandon leave his contact information with you guys verbally after I'm done talking about this. But the 1st and 2nd of December, the Mastermind Summer event is going down at the Hyatt Regency Crystal City, 2799 Richmond Highway in Arlington, Virginia. And when I tell you there's plenty of airports in the DMV to get you close enough here to where you're driving distance from this event, you do not want to miss it. Are the first 50 tickets gone already?
Gone, but what we did is if you use the code Masterminds at the checkout and make sure you hit the submit button. But if you put that in there, there's still about 20 tickets that we did as overflow for all of you guys that are doing, you know, these calls like this. So if anybody wants to come out, there's about 20 tickets left that we're doing at a special promotion of the 250 plus the Eventbrite fee. And then outside of that, it's 350. So Friday night registration, 6:30 to 9:30. Then Saturday morning, same thing, 8 o'clock is registration. We get started and dinner is served. We also have a website that you guys can go to. It's core4summit.com, core4, the number 4 summit.com, and you'll be able to register there as well. And you'll be able to see some of the other people because we're going to be putting a list. You'll see the agenda. It's going to be amazing. And the fact that we're going to be having this twice a year.
Yes.
You know,
so this is just event number 1, ladies and gentlemen. This is the kickoff. This is getting everyone used to seeing that brand up there, Core 4. Because the commitment to learning this information is not going to change, and it's going to continue to be relevant as we continue to go through the years. You know, we're just now getting to a place where we can really feel comfortable in having the support and making sure that all the bases are covered, right?
That's right.
Make sure that we've got somebody on, and we talked about a few names, like you said, Jackson Armstrong is going to be in the building. You know, there's just so much value that's about to come from this event, and we don't want anyone to miss it. I did put core4summit.com in the chat. So if you want to go and visit that webpage, please go do that. The code for the remaining extra 20 tickets that are available, and they will run out fast, ladies and gentlemen. The 20 tickets that are available at that $250 price, if you put in the code Masterminds with an S at the end, correct?
That's right.
All right. So make sure you don't miss that S. Make sure you go on Eventbrite. You can also register at core4summit.com. Ladies and gentlemen, we do not want you to miss this event. Like I said, 2799 Richmond Highway in Arlington, Virginia. Not too far from me, not too far from us. But I tell you right now, I mean, Dulles is down the street, Reagan is down the street, Baltimore, BWI is maybe 45 to an hour away. Plenty of avenues to get here. You ought to get here. And if you can drive here, get here, because there's going to be a lot of value coming from this event. And if nothing more, hey, come say holla at your boy for his birthday. You know, my birthday is on December the 2nd. And, you know, I'm excited to be able to spend some time with my core 4 family. And I'm just excited for another year of life. So that just throwing that out there. But we'd love to see you all. We've got 13 people watching right now. If we can get 13 likes, y'all did real good with the likes on the last request. So I'm just throw it out there and ask again. That does help us to get to more eyes. I'm going to pull this. I'm going to pull the flyer down so everyone can see you. Brother, is there anything that you want to talk about this morning? You know, we've got the floor, and I've got as much time as you have. So, you know, is there anything pertaining to the event that you want to know? Is there any questions that the people have about this event? You know, for the few that are watching us this morning, feel free to drop your questions in the chat. I am paying attention to the chat. But Brandon, if there's anything that you want to add, anything you want to ask me, you know, the floor is kind of open until we've got some participation outside.
Well, you know, one of the big things I want to say is that, you know, we've spent so much time investing in these platforms, and people have spent thousands and thousands, and you wake up in the morning, it's like, you know, what happened?
Yeah.
But we don't invest in ourselves.
That's right.
And so what we're wanting to do, and this is why we have all of these leaders that are coming out, because they see the value. We're not even trying to make money on the event, right? There's no money to be made, right? But what there is there's opportunity, because these are, just like you said, core 4 family. Every day we're adding to the family, adding, and people you thought might have been your competitors in this space, you're learning, especially with you, you're learning that, wait a second, you know, I might have been competing for some subscribers over here. Wait, we're on the same page.
Yep.
Because what we have is something totally different.
That's right.
And so I want everybody to understand that when you look at yourself in the mirror, after you've spent money on these platforms, are you okay? Because if you're not okay with what just happened, then you need to be at this event.
Yep.
Because not only is it going to be sold out, but you're going to be in a position where you're going to say, what did I miss? I have this fear of missing out.
That FOMO.
That FOMO. And we're not filming it. We're filming it for production purposes, but we're not to be able to live
stream and stuff like that. Yeah.
None of that's happening. And there's private conversations that are going to be going on in this room that you just won't get. You're not going to talk about it. You know that you don't talk about, because you're private. And we have to learn how to move in that way.
That's right.
So what I want everybody to know is that you have to be flexible. You have to, in this space, just in general, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to get tapped out.
Yep.
You have to be creative, and you have to kind of be agile.
Yep.
Because if you're not, then when you tap out, it's going to hit hard.
Yeah.
One thing that I want to talk about, like on your journey, what I love is that you are flexible. You don't take anything personal.
Yep.
Because once you do, it's over. Right?
That's right.
Somebody told me a long time in real estate, when I used to buy and sell properties, they said, if you miss one, it's okay, because there's 1,000 more around the corner.
Yep.
So we're in a space where there's lots of inventory of opportunity.
Yep.
We just have to sift through it, figure out who we are. We have what's called the 7 pillars that we viewed. You know about the 7 pillars?
Yes, I know about the 7 pillars.
And that's been helpful. That's been helpful.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, it's not the end all to be all.
That's right.
I want to share with you guys today, and this is a phrase that I've coined, and that's proof of revenue. Whenever you put your dollars in something, you have to establish a proof of revenue. And if you can't establish it, then you have to limit your exposure to the opportunity.
That's right.
That's the biggest nugget that I'm going to give you guys today. If
That's
can't prove where the money is coming from based on your proof of income, you giving them money
to
invest in whatever it is that they're doing, or create whatever they're trying to create. If there's no revenue that you can actually show, then you have to limit your exposure.
That's right.
Because we're not saying don't take the risk, right? I'm not a financial advisor. I can't tell you what to do or what not to do.
That's right.
But what I'm telling you in my journey, and I know in your journey, you limit that risk based on how much proof of revenue.
That's right.
And I get so upset when people say, oh, you know, I was talking to you, you had me do this program, you had me get involved in this.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what I'm doing.
That's right.
My journey and what's been successful for me right now, today, and tomorrow may change.
That's right.
And so if you decide to part with your hard-earned money to join this, then you have to look at the risk that you put on this.
That's right.
Whatever I told you my risk was, or my tolerance, or how I feel about a project.
That's right.
I just thought that was important.
And it's so important, and people got to hear that from all facets. And I can't over communicate it enough. One thing that, and of course, for those of you that know about me personally, I'm a Commanders fan, right? So I'm a huge fan of Eric Bieniemy, and one of the things that Eric Bieniemy said in one of his press conferences, over communicating, right? There's value in over communicating because you always know where the person stands. You always know where the person's mind is. You always, even if it gets annoying, right? So I feel the same sentiment when people hear us say, hey, don't over leverage yourself. Don't put in more than you're willing to lose. Don't, there's certain rules in this space that we over communicate that may sound cliche to people. It may sound like, oh, he's just saying that to protect himself. I'm like, well, you can add that to protecting myself because you should always be responsible and protect yourself. But when you're talking about others and the mindset that they need to have in this particular space, like you said, we can't get so emotionally attached to one or two or three things to where it makes us crumble if they go away. I used to say this all the time in my early days. We don't fall in love with platforms. No. We don't in the hip hop type of way. We don't love these hoes, right? We don't get too attached to what we know is just here for a good time, not a long time. So one of the things that we've had to embrace in this space, both the new people and the more seasoned veterans in this space, is that nothing lasts forever. None of these plays last forever. We have not seen one play, not one play, last forever, right?
Not one.
So we have to be able to move like that water behind you. We have to be able to be flexible. We have to be able to flow. And that's one of the things that I've embraced in this journey, just being able to flow and be honest with myself. There are some times where I have over leveraged. I think we all have. But when you do that, some of the other things around your over leveraging has to kick up, right? So if you're not protecting yours, if you're not a person that shares these opportunities, if you're not a person that has a group of like-minded people that you can bounce these things around, if you're not a person that is good at building capital outside of the space, so where if you put in your last $100, you know how to go get another $100.
Exactly.
You have to learn how to be resourceful. And I think that part of the things that are going to go on in this class are going to help us learn how to be resourceful outside of this space so that we can better, hopefully, because, sometimes making more money don't help you make decisions on how to spend that more money.
This is true.
It'll help us to be better prepared when platforms come and when they go. I've noticed that a lot of people miss out on the early portion of platforms because of over leveraging. And then when they finally get a chance to say, oh, it's been a month now, this thing, and they call themselves just watching it, right?
Exactly.
They're just watching it to see what it does, but they really were not prepared to take advantage of the opportunity when it came. So then, because there's a lot of things that go into catching opportunity, there's time, there's the timing of when you see it, when you get involved, when it gets shown to you. There's the ability to capitalize on, that timing, right? Whether it's early or late. And it's also your ability to recoup whatever you lose later on. Because losses and learning lessons are bound to happen. They're going to happen.
Every platform is like I went to graduate school and I paid a big bill for it. What we do with it afterwards is important. And that brings me to another point. Listening to what you talked about reminded me of the fact that when you go to a basketball practice, you don't go to just one.
Right.
You go to a basketball camp, you don't go to just one.
That's right.
So you need to find leadership. And we're bringing all the leadership in the country to one spot, right?
Oh, yeah.
So this is the camp you want to be at. But the fact that we're able to bring it back to you every 6 months is going to hold you accountable so that you won't fall off the wagon.
That's right.
We are going to have more of these types of talks throughout the year so that people can actually look and say, how am I doing based on what I'm committed to in this space?
That's right.
I understand what it is.
That's right.
There are sharks, and just like this water behind me, it looks beautiful. There's a lot of sharks in that water, and they can't wait for us to dip our feet in. And
That's
when
correct.
I taste blood in the water, it's over.
That's correct.
So,
there are a couple comments. Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong screen. I'm looking at you on YouTube. There's a couple comments in the chat here on YouTube, and one of them is learn to trade, right? So I want to ask your opinion on that, because I've been very adamant to say, hey, trading is not my thing, right? I don't have the time to look at the graphs and the lines and the ebbs and flows. I would rather delegate that. And in my delegation, we haven't always had the best success. But I see a lot of people out here having great success in trading. My boy Corey Crockett, Passive Income Croc, he's a daily trader, trades every single day, and he's happy to share his posts on social media about his success in trading. I almost wish he would set up a PAMM account so that I could just, slide some money up in there and just,
Right.
ride his wave. But what do you feel about people learning how to do the trading on their own? And is that something that you've ever considered? Because I know I get that question all the time. People will say, oh, you keep promoting these Ponzi's and this and that. You should just learn how to trade yourself. And my state has always been, well, I know myself, and I know that trading is not going to be good for me right now. What is your thoughts on trading personally?
So there's two types of trading. There's fundamentals and there's technicals. And then you have robots and AIs that you have to learn outside of just understanding how the market moves and how you will participate in the market personally. Like, there's a lot that goes into being a successful trader. But one of the biggest things that go into it is your own personal psychology. As an athlete, you got lots of people that are 6'6", 200 whatever pounds or whatever, but that doesn't mean that they're really all built the same.
That's right.
Comes up here to the mindset, the psychology. You might have one guy that's a baseball player that doesn't really have to deal with contact except for hitting the baseball.
Right.
You have a guy that's basketball where there's going to be some bumping and contact. And then you got a guy that might be the exact same size and he's a football player. And all he does is get hit and get knocked down. There's a different mentality.
That's right.
You have to be really stable to be able to understand the movement of the market and where your entries are based on what you think you saw, and then understand that what you think you saw is real, and then it's going to go in the direction eventually that you want it to go. And do you have enough capital? Did you over leverage there where you're going to end up losing, right? So I do have a background in trading. There are traders out here who are phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
We have one trader, Blade. Okay. Mm-hmm. A lot of these traders want to stay anonymous. Mm-hmm. Blade, for example, is incredible and can get 25 to 50% a week. It's crazy. Another one, Ghost, same thing. Ghost put in 500 on a Monday, had 30,000 on a Friday.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. But my goal is to try to bring people like Blade, Ghost, and others. That's just two that I've named.
Right.
Try to help them to have a humanitarian side to them.
Mm-hmm.
To allow us to let them create private membership groups to allow us to participate. And I don't care what you make, but if you give me a return, because you've been a part of PMGs before, I've been a part of PMGs before, and that might be the safest thing in this whole space.
Right.
Real talk, right?
Real talk.
So, because there's a history, it's proven, there's proof of revenue.
Yep.
You can understand that they know more. They're willing to take those hits and they can bounce off much better than we can.
Yep.
So I think that for me, inexperienced traders, take the time out to learn. Let somebody else do the heavy lifting that is proven, so that you can at least learn and earn at the same time. Otherwise, you're going to tap out and you're going to get so discouraged, because we all lose.
Yep.
How do we interpret that loss?
That's right.
So if you can figure that out, who you are, then yeah, sure. And if you look at it like it's gambling or like it's some fun stuff to do and you get lucky, great. But there are professionals out here and they're called that for a reason.
That's right. That's right. And shout out to Blade and Ghost, because those are amazing returns. And I don't know exactly who they are, but hopefully I'll have the ability to meet them soon. But it's okay for the latter as well. For those of you that want to experience those kind of games and want to learn, the information is out there. There are plenty of basic ways to learn trading, right? There's plenty of classes. There's plenty of basic ways. And then if you want to take your game to the next level, I think that comes with networking and just asking questions with people that are in that space with you, experiencing the ebbs and flows and not quitting. Because we're all going to experience, like you said, we're all going to experience those learning lessons or losses, however you choose to see them. But it's how you respond to them. It's what you do after you hit the wall. That's what I think about all the time. It's my coach always telling me, hey, look, this brick wall time. What are you going to do now? You know what I'm saying? This is the brick wall. What are you going to do now? I always think about that in my head. So that's a great point to bring up for all of you guys that are interested in trading. The resources are out there. You got to know yourself a little bit. Like I know myself, I know I would be an emotional trader if I see too much red or too much green, because I'm a little artsy fartsy. So my brain thinks in a different way. And if I see certain colors, I might make a decision that's off of what the strategy is. So, you know, you got to kind of know yourself. I want to bounce to the comment section just really quickly. My blood brother, who is a mild player in this space, I'll call him. He's like I'll say he's in the pre-G league, if there ever was a pre-G league. He's like in the ABCDEE league. He's learning. He's a mild player, and he said, "Let's reboot Black Enterprise magazine." And he's one that's my brother's a little cryptic sometimes, but he's always got a reason why he says things. So I'd love to have him elaborate, but of course I believe he's just staying along the lines of just seeing people that look like us continuing to do things like this, come together, share our stories, be involved with each other, with whether it's in person or out of person, because we know we're in a different health world right now. COVID is still out there, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that didn't know. And I think that this is a good thing that we're doing. And not to make it all about race or anything like that, but it's empowering for our people to see our people working together. One of the things I was watching yesterday, and this is just a side note, GS Partners, right? So my father sent me a 3-hour-long video on what is an opinion piece on GS Partners, some of the leaders in GS Partners, and their reaction to everyone's favorite Ponzi finder, Ponzi Patrol, right? We all know Ponzi Patrol puts out videos on whatever he feels like it, whether he's in it or not, right? So you take that for what it is. But what I saw in that video was a collection of people that looked like us, that put their differences aside, whether they wanted GS Partners or believe GS Partners is going to last or not. They came together to have the conversation, right? They came together to do a reaction video to what they saw is something that is resonating with them. So I just wanted to point that out, that I think it's a great thing what this particular group is doing, not just because of us all being skin folk, or most of us being skin folk, but we don't see enough of that in our culture of us coming together. And I'm glad to be a part of something that's helping move that needle in another direction. Also see Lambo Drew in the building. Gotta clap it up for Lambo Drew, because Lambo Drew has been a lot in my personal growth. And anytime I see him in the chat section, it's always good. And I know you know Lambo Drew now. So you kind of know that energy that I've been getting for
amazing energy.
Almost the same time that I've known you, I've known Lambo. You know, you guys came into my life around the same time, and you guys have really helped, you know, move me forward.
And he sent me he said, I'm not going to say the vehicle, but he sent me a picture of a vehicle, and I am highly motivated, Lambo. Thank you. Man.
He's got you in his motivations chat, huh? Listen, if you guys don't know Lambo Drew right now, and I don't want to steer the conversation in a different direction too far, but this is all pertinent. You got to have people in your life that'll do stuff like Lambo Drew will do. He will go to a Lamborghini dealership and he will walk around that joint, and I think he does it almost daily, right? It's a motivation thing for him, right? Yes. he will go to the Lambo. He will go to the Lambo dealership and will take a video and say, "Hey, man, there's a red one over there. There's a blue one over there. There's a black one back there. There's a silver one right there. It's a purple one. Which one you want? Which one you want? And what are you going to do today to move yourself closer to that?" Man, I get like, I feel like, you know, when you got that coach that make you just want to run through a wall.
Right.
Yeah, it's like.
But this is what team is all about.
Yep.
You know, this is what building solid relationships is all about.
That's right.
Because if you don't have that, you may wake up and you're not energized.
That's right.
You're going to waste a day. We only get one of them.
That's right. We only get one of these lives, and every day that we see, we only get one of those. So thank you, Lambo, for everything that you do for us. I'm kind of sifting through comments now. He said, "Love y'all." We love you too, Lambo. Truth Media says, "Good morning, BOJ. Keep doing what you're doing." Truth Media, I'm gonna need to see you in DC. I'm gonna need to see you in DC or Arlington. I'll say Arlington just to be geographically correct. But the DMV, we want to see y'all in the DMV on the 1st and the 2nd of December. However you can get here. All right. Because we believe that this event is going to provide a lot of value. We'd love to meet a lot of you, if not all of you. If there's space for all of you, come on down. We're working it out.
It's limited. We got to really and that's funny that you say this, because people are going to make the mistake and try to register for this too late.
Yep.
And it's just not going to be, you know, not even standing room only.
Yep. And listen, you ain't gonna be able to hit me up on a back channel, say, "Hey bro, can you give me a little extra ticket? Can you help me slide?" No, I can't do that. No homie hop deals. Can't do that. There's a lot of value in this event. And if you don't see the value now, then maybe you'll see it later. But for those of you that take the opportunity to come, you will see the value. You'll understand why we're doing what we're doing, why you need to be in the building, and why it's going to be important that we have 2 of these at least every year, because this is an ever-evolving space. There's always going to be new information coming out. There's always going to be new avenues and new things that we learn, as it should be, because you need a ever-evolving space, because everything in the times are changing. You know, we have AI as one of the punch words all over the world.
That's right.
Can I say that AI was a punch word 2 years ago when I got started in this industry? No, I can't. And it evolved into that place. And now there's so much going on, and we need to arm ourselves and equip ourselves with as much information as we have the bandwidth for. And whatever we don't have the bandwidth for, we just sit back and take what we can. And then the next time, make sure we have enough bandwidth to handle it. So
I totally agree. And I'm going to say this, as you think about orientation, whether it's going to school, whether it's going to a team, whether it's going wherever, you need to get an orientation so that you can figure out what your plan is going to be, or at least understand what the plan should be.
That's right.
So our event reminds me of that orientation to this space. And
That's
whether
right.
you've been in the space and you need to get reoriented, or whether you've been successful and you want to network with other people that have kind of figured it out, this orientation will get you centered. It will help you to find that GPS that you need, and it will help you navigate your way to a success faster with less bumps and bruises.
There you go.
That's the value.
And a lot of us have been through the bumps and bruises for you.
Yeah.
You know, a part of my journey is going through a lot of these bumps and bruises in front of all of y'all's faces on a daily basis. So hopefully there's a lot of value that you guys can get, but there's going to be way more value in that room. December the 1st, December the 2nd. We don't want you to miss it. It's going to be in Arlington, Virginia. We had the flyer up. I'll put it up again for those of you that are just joining us. I know we have some people that are just getting in, just waking up from the West Coast. We've got a few more comments in the description. So I'm going to put this up first, and then I'm going to hop into the comment section. Chris Florence, and you can make this as quick or as long as you want, Brandon. Chris Florence says, "What is quantum banking?" And, you know, of course, we don't want to give the whole shebang out before the event, but what is quantum banking in a very simplistic way? If you can give it. If you can't, we'll just have them wait, Brandon. You know, we'll wait till the subject matter expert comes and can deliver that.
Well, I'll say it like this: it's decentralized banking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Imagine everything that you do with, say, the Bank of Americas and the Chases and all the rest of the stuff. All of that goes away. And now you're in a decentralized space where the blockchain controls everything. And that's actually kind of why we're in this space.
That's right.
So decentralized banking is something that is going to be a part of our future, where we're able to get loans, where we're able to navigate very quickly in a safe manner, because there is now going to be an intermediary that's a little bit more professional, right? As opposed to it being just peer-to-peer. You can actually have peer-to-business to peer or B2B to B. And so the quantum banking is exciting because we really haven't seen it effectively developed. And so hopefully now it will be.
That's right. Couple more comments here from Trajectory. And Chris, I hope we answered your question the best that we could. Hope you got some value from that answer. Trajectory of Wealth, who I always still call Crypto Coin T, my brother Crypto Coin T. He says it's a tough task. Some are not genuine, but when they are, it's special. And when they keep you motivated because they want to win. They want you to win like they want themselves to win. And he's talking about platforms in general. There's some platform, and he's a platform player like myself. And you can tell when a platform wants to win and wants their people to win, because you'll see them around a little longer, right? Yeah. That's just the fact of the matter. It's hard to trust any platform, all right? And as a matter of fact,
you shouldn't.
You shouldn't. You should have a very healthy respect for the non-trust level in this space, right? It should allow you to feel more comfortable about moving in a different way. You know, you shouldn't feel bad about only being able to put $100 in something, you know, because you might be saving yourself from losing $1,000.
Well said.
There's not any shame in putting in the minimum, right? Now, what you may lose out on is the possibility of earning more, but what you may also lose out on is the possibility of losing more. So,
and what you said is that not one has made it, right?
That's right. That's right.
So what we're saying is that if there's a 99% chance, you said 100%, but let's say 99% chance that you're going to lose at some point, it's just a matter of time.
That's right.
So if you're going to play in this space, understand what it really is. And if it happens to not be, then you just got lucky.
Yep.
Don't think you're good.
Yep. Don't think you're too good. Now I've fallen subject to that. You know, sometimes you build something and it's doing great numbers, and you're getting other opportunities in your inbox, and you're like, no, I'll pass on that. I'll pass on that. I've got 2 or 3 things that are really rocking and rolling right now. I'm good. The next thing you know, that those 2 or 3 things are like gone back to back to back, and you're sitting there with nothing.
You get humbled quick.
You get humbled real quick. You hit that brick wall. What do you do at that point? Do you go out? Do you try to find some better opportunities? Are you even prepared? Have you put enough aside to be able to continue to play? Or you out screwing the money off? You know, everyone has their own things that they do. And I'm not here to tell you what to do with what you earn, because you eat what you kill, right? If you go out there and you earn it, it's yours to do whatever you want with. But what I'm telling you guys is what's kept me alive is some of the things that I talk about every single day, right? It's not over leveraging in one opportunity. It's staying diversified. If you got $1,000, find 10 things to put $100 in. You know, it'll keep you alive. It'll keep you relevant. If you have channels, right? If you have avenues where you have communities, you know, make sure that you're being authentic about your journeys. We don't have to sit here and tell people what to do. Right? We're all adults in this space, or we should all be adults, and we should all be handling ourselves as adults in this space. You can take suggestions, you can be inspired, all right? But we're not here to tell you what to do with yours. We're here to show you what we've decided to do and why we've decided to do it, and why it's important that the people in our circle are all doing the same thing. And if you find the importance in what we're doing, then great. If you don't, then you don't. You know, it is what it is. But I think And you can just base this off of just looking at this picture right here. So many like-minded individuals coming together to share the information and the knowledge and the wisdom that they have learned over the last few years. And so excited about this event. Again, can't say it enough. For those of you that may just be joining in, we have Brandon Adams. Should we call you the CEO? Are you the owner? Like, how do you want to be addressed in this situation, Brandon?
You know, I'm just lucky to be inspired that I was able to come up with Core 4 and have people that believed in me and what my vision was and mission. And so if that's CEO, great. If that's owner, great. But what it is, it's family. It's all of ours.
There we go. It's all of ours. This is a community. Core 4 is a community. Yes, there are some leaders that some of the community will go to in that leadership vein. But I don't think you could have said it any better. I feel just like you. I'm grateful to be a person in this space that people look to. And I want the best for this event because I know what it's going to bring to the people. I know the leadership. I know you, Brandon, and I know that your heart, your mind, and your efforts are all in line with helping people.
Thank you.
With making sure that people are educated. And you go the extra mile for your community. So I want everyone to be able to experience what that feels like. All right. If you want to experience what that feels like, all right. If you don't want your leader dancing, no, I'm not even going to do all that. That's a joke. But listen, this event is going to be very important for your growth. If you want to stay in this space, if you want to be in this space, if you want to be involved in this space, and even further, like you said, some of the conversations that we can't have on YouTube, we're going to be having in this room. So get here in this room, Hyatt Regency, Crystal City. Spaces are limited, and they're limited for a reason. We want to deal with people that want to be here. If you don't want to be here, don't come, right? But if you want to be here, you want to be a part of what's going on, we want to see you in the place. 2799 Richmond Highway, Arlington, Virginia, December the 1st and the 2nd. The website to get more information is core4summit.com. I'm going to put that again in the chat. Actually, I'm going to pin the one that I did before so all of you guys can see that. Core4summit.com. The information is right here on the flyer. Brandon, thank you so much for your time. We've had you on for a little over an hour, and we're looking forward to having you back on again very, very soon as we get more information. Anything that you want to share, I'm just a text message, a call away. We can hop back on. And if there's anything that you want to share with the folks before we get on out of here, the floor is yours, my brother.
I just want to say thank you all. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your life. It means a lot to me and our family. We want to see all of us grow that's interested in this space. It's young, it's early, there's real opportunity, but we have to have a plan. So use the opportunity. These incredible leaders are going to be here, and there's so many more leaders that are daily coming to me wanting to be a part of this. So you guys are all emerging leaders. We all started out as affiliates, and so our leadership grew. So allow us to help develop your leadership in this space, whether you have one person, you're by yourself, you have 10,000 people. We are here to support you. And I just want to say I love you all, whether you like it or not.
Hey, there you go. And I want to say thank you all for joining us today. For all of you that decided to tune in early this morning, thank you so much for sharing your time with us. Of course, I got to end with this. Put your 2FA on all the platforms that will allow you and all your wallets, because crypto is indeed the wild, wild west. If you ain't strapped with that 2FA or some sort of securities on your accounts, then you're bound to be hacked. It's going to happen. So just make sure you're strapped with that. Thank you, Brandon, so much for all your time. Make sure you guys get registered for this event. And I'm going to end with just a little bit of a joke, because, Lambo is always in my comments joking. He says, thanks, BOJ, for being an inspiration to us all. I still believe that Mayo Trade is coming back. And we all know that Mayo Trade is not coming back. But my guy CryptoCoin T says, Lambo, the only mayo you're going to get is on that McChicken sandwich. And I just had to say that, because that is hilarious. Thank you guys for tuning in today. Listen, Brandon, thank you so much for your time. And we'll be having you on shortly to continue to bring us some more information as it comes out about the event. We're excited about the event. Get registered, people. All right. Don't spend a whole lot of time dilly-dallying. Get your 250 together. If you want one of these last 20 slots, make sure you put in the code Masterminds with an S at the end. If you don't get that S in, you won't get the code right, and you won't get that little bit of percentage off. For those of you that missed those extra 20 slots, there will still be slots available, but they are very, very limited. Make sure you get yours, and we will see your face in the place. Brandon, thank you so much, my brother.
You too.
We'll be talking soon, man. Everyone have a good one.